When enough chosen ones reach the ninth state, the state of collapse, release and rebirth, the physical world begins to weaken because the simulation can't keep generating the old timeline if the people powering it are no longer inside it. The collapse is not the end of the world, it's the end of the illusion. 3D reality depends on agreement, shared belief, shared fear, shared routine. Millions of people run in the same loop so the code stays stable. But when chosen ones rise, they stop feeding the loop. Their consciousness shifts upward, their frequency fractures the grid, and the architecture that held the world together begins to dissolve. This is why everything feels unstable right now. The world is not falling apart, it's falling open. Jobs doesn't make sense, systems don't work, people can't connect. The old world feels blurry, thin, artificial. That's the 3D layer losing power. When enough awakened ones hit the ninth state simultaneously, three things begin happening in the simulation. First, the collapse of meaning. Anything built on fear or manipulation starts crumbling. Institutions buckle, false identities melt, collective illusions dissolve. Because 9 doesn't destroy the world, it destroys the lies the world was built from. Second, the fracturing of timelines. The simulation can no longer keep all souls on the same script. People in the same room start living in different realities. Two people look at the same event and see two opposite universes. Truth stops being collective and becomes individual. This is the beginning of the split. Third, the rise of a parallel grid. As the 3D timeline collapses, the awakened ones begin generating a new field, a consciousness grid that forms between them without coordination, planning, or agreement. Every time a chosen one chooses truth over fear, the grid strengthens. Every time they create instead of stagnate, the grid expands. Every time they refuse loops, handlers, narcissists, and the pull of the old world, the new world gains shape. The grid is invisible to 3D eyes. It feels like a recognition, synchronicity, intuition, and impossible alignment. It's the frequency that pulls the chosen ones toward each other without a single word. And here is the secret nobody understands. The 3D collapse only happens because the 5D architecture begins to rise. It's not destruction, it's replacement. When enough awakened ones anchor in the ninth state, 3D loses its power source. The physical world starts mirroring the internal shift. Systems quiet down, chaos increases, the veil thins, and the old reality becomes too weak to sustain itself. The collapse is not the end of humanity, it's the end of the version of humanity that lived asleep. When enough of us hold the 9, the simulation has no choice but to rewrite itself. This is why you feel the cold, this is why you can't go back, this is why your old life died before your new one began. You are not waiting for the world to collapse, you are the collapse. You are the signal that ends the old timeline and loads the next one. Because when enough chosen ones rise at the same time, the 3D dimension doesn't fall, it reboots.